how do you feel about safety?
During this trip, normally when my husband and I would travel together before this, it would be like, we have a 2-week trip, we're spending every minute together, we're traveling together. But when you have an entire year and it's just you two, a lot of times we would just do different things. Like we were pretty good if, I wanted to go, we wake up at different times and he would be gone and then I would just go somewhere else, or it kind of depended. Of course we did a ton of stuff together, but for a whole year, there are times when like we were doing different things. So I was never really solo traveling, but there were a lot of times when I was alone in lots of different countries that I didn't know the language or wasn't from. So I would say I never felt personally unsafe for myself. Like, of course, there's, sometimes there's situations where like, I'm not sure about this, and you just kind of go somewhere else. But the main thing was more just worrying about your like belongings, I'd say. People will kind of tell you, like, even say like, oh, don't set your purse there. Like, people, they're just kind of have to be a little more careful about it. And so it's been a year of that. So even when I just got here, like I just set my phone over here and it was kind of weird. I was like, it's like, I'm not used to it. Normally I wouldn't just set my phone on the table like I just did in most of the countries that I was in this year. So it's kind of like readjusting to, no, I can set my phone there. So just stuff like that you kind of have to get used to.
Did you feel safe, say when you weren't with your husband? Did you at any times feel unsafe just being a woman in a different country?
I think you're always just more aware as a woman, for sure. I'm sure we all feel that and know that. I think there were definitely times, and sometimes I would tell him, I think by the end, I was a lot more comfortable just walking around cities alone. I was thinking about that actually on the drive here, that from the beginning and like certain places we were, like in Colombia, for example, or Ecuador in the beginning, where I would be walking alone and I speak Spanish, but it's not my first language. And so sometimes there's people like telling you things or like, I don't know, making comments to you like as a woman or whatever. And I felt more just like uncomfortable, but okay. And then by the end, I think I just really did feel a lot more comfortable walking around. But there's always that edge of, I was laughing with my husband because one time I was just walking around Spain, which isn't even like, doesn't even feel like unsafe in general. But there was like I thought there was a man standing kind of near the bushes, and I was walking alone in the morning and I was just kind of like, why is he standing like that? And I was kind of feeling weird. And then I got closer and it was a statue. And I was just like, that's so funny that I feel like as a woman, you see a man and you're like, okay, it's in the back of your mind that you're aware of it. And just, I don't know. And so he was laughing at me for like the statue, but I was like, but sometimes we have to think about those things more. Although I never really felt like that unsafe, like just slightly uncomfortable at times, but not like,
just kind of being
really
aware,
more aware, I'd say. Yeah, in general, just trying to be respectful and aware of surroundings. In a lot of places I wouldn't even really check my phone in the streets, because there were like a lot of people we were traveling with that had their phones stolen and stuff. Like one woman in Ecuador was inside, a woman at our hostel was inside a cab, and the window was rolled down, and she was texting a friend from inside the car, and someone reached in and grabbed her phone.
Wow.
So it's like those kind of reminders where you feel like you're in this enclosed safe space, but so just to be more aware than maybe I am on my normal daily life in San Diego. And then sometimes I'm aware as well, like my husband and I were speaking in Spanish with each other during the travels, but I had friends visit, and then sometimes we're just excited to see each other and we get like really loud and we're cracking up and like yelling stuff in English, and like I think and then you sometimes have to think like, no, like maybe we shouldn't, we can be a little quieter, or just be like a little more aware that we're completely standing out in this situation. So kind of like just having those little reminders as you go along.
How about with money or credit cards? Did you try to keep it all in one place? Did you have like a because some people money belts or anything like that?
Yeah, I had like a what's it called?
Like a fanny pack?
Yeah, like a fanny pack that can go under your clothes. So I was using that for a little bit, but then I ended up using pretty much the entire year just a purse that like straps. It goes like over your head, kind of. Because normally here I just wear it on one shoulder and it's like open and my phone's just out showing. But whenever I'm like in certain places, I wear it strapped around me and zipped and like just kind of tucked away a little bit. But then with money, I mostly have like my credit cards and my ID and stuff are on my like in my phone in a little wallet. And then in terms of like our passports, we did stay in a lot of private rooms, but we pretty much always left our passports staying. Because if you ever heard a story of things getting stolen, it was usually on like on the streets. It wasn't at like a place or at the hostel. It can happen, and if there's lockers, like you can put stuff in there. But yeah, we kept that stuff at where we were staying, and then phone. Or even if I was checking directions, I just kind of had a tight grip on my phone. Mm-hmm. And my husband and I would jokingly like try to grab each other's phones to see if we like had a good hold on them sometimes to like practice. And because there were a lot of people that we met whose your phone just gets grabbed and then they're gone. So stuff that
that's
that's good. Didn't not as used to around here.